Hello and welcome along. Welcome to the third video of the day today. We're going to be looking at the generic congressional vote ahead of 2022. So often, in between elections, we don't really think about this measure that much. And even in the run-up to election day, particularly when people were talking about what sort of margin is the House going to be heading into 2020, it's not actually that sort of culpable or applicable. However, it is a good academic exercise to have a look at it, and it does actually tell us a bit about the wider trends of American public opinion. So we'll look at the RCP average in terms of polling data for the 2022 generic congressional ballot, which is basically what the American voter says they'd vote for. A generic Republican candidate for Congress or a generic Democratic candidate for Congress. Right now, we have 43% voting Democrat, 43.3%, and we have 43% voting Republican. That's a spread of 0.3 points for the Democrats, and that actually is a very good result for the GOP. For a long time, Democrats have been ahead by these metrics. We go back to sort of the beginning of the year or earlier in the year. At least you have Democrats plus 9, 49 to 40. It would have to be a big margin for Democrats to hold the House. This is a good margin for Republicans. And the thing about this is, this data, there haven't really been many or any generic ballots since sort of late into August. So now, with Biden's approval ratings hitting a new low, it'd be very interesting to see, do the Republicans take the lead? They don't often have the lead on these measures, and yet they still win Congress, control of Congress quite a lot. So I think it's very likely we could see a Republican lead before the Democrats rebound in any meaningful sense. So look out for that. If that doesn't happen, that indicates the Democratic brand is holding up stronger than Biden's personal brand as a president. This goes back to the race for Congress right through 2019. Look, Democrats ahead. Hello, hi, sunshine. Even the beginning of 2020 during impeachment when Trump had a boost, or the beginning of the pandemic, again, Trump had a boost. Yet, still really good margins, increasing margins for the Democrats heading towards election day, which should in many ways have been an indicator of the fact the Republicans were in trouble. And yet they did make gains. Yep, they did make gains in the House, but of course, they lost the presidency and they lost, by the barest of margins, the Senate. And, you know, in 2020, Republicans did basically outperform the expectations of them. However, they still didn't do brilliantly by any stretch of the imagination. So there's an interesting article here from CNN Politics. There are fewer polls than there used to be following 2020. The polling industry has taken its shots following the 2016 and 2020 election when former President Donald Trump was underestimated. Polling can help shape a narrative about where the country is and where it is going. When polling is wrong, people can be misled, and the stories being told about the electorate may have been flat out incorrect. We do have fewer polls right now to help us do that during President Joe Biden's administration compared with Trump administration. This is the last bit I'll read. We can see this by looking at the number of polls asking about Biden's job approval rating. There have been about 750, that's quite a lot, of these polls published, so it's not like we don't have any data. More than 60%. So, here's the deal with this. Coming up soon on this channel, potentially tomorrow, I will be delving into why Donald Trump, this is the biggest flaw in polling, why Donald Trump's position and any Trump-adjacent Republicans' positions, not Republicans in general, not rhinos, as Trump would call them, you know, proper populist Trumpian politicians, right? Why is their support underestimated in national polling? And why is Democratic establishment candidates, so Joe Biden and sort of centrist Democrats, why is their support, for example, in the case of Hillary Clinton, dramatically overestimated in polling often? Although the big trend there is, of course, Trump being underestimated, not Democrats being overestimated. What's behind that? What's driving it? We'll look into that very soon. Thank you for watching.